this video I am taking you for the tour around the AMRUM island located in the northwest Germany. And for those of you who haven't seen my previous episodes of this vlog, this is where I'm located at the moment, teaching the kite surfing. Let's get into it, and from the get-go we start at the campsite on the sand dunes, and straight away we are going towards the beach at the southwest coast of the island. One very specific thing about the AMRUM island, besides the fact that for me personally it's like one big sand dune, at least on the west coast side, so the open seaside part of the island, is that the community here is very nature concerned in regards to preserving its natural state. And for that reason, the sand dunes are full of wooden paths and bridges spreading for miles across the island. People are encouraged to use them to access the beach and explore the coastline area, instead walking wherever they feel like and potentially unnecessarily putting the strain on the natural habitat for many species of animals and plants. And by the way, later in this video I'm going to show you very cool examples of those animals and plants. As you can see here on this footage, the coastline, the beach on the west side, is massive. At the beach itself you can find very cool and interesting spots like this. Fantastic resting area, hammock, you can just chill out, lie down, sunbathe. You've got pirate flags and this specific AMRUM island flags also. If you go to the beach, you can be sure that they're kept clean and tidy. This is, for example, a toilet. There are three main villages in the island of AMRUM, and that is, like on this example, Vitund. This is the first village that you get to when you go on a ferry. Now this part we just walked around, so we went to the beach coming from the campsite towards the Vitund, so towards the south end of the island, and now we're gonna head back towards the campsite, and we're gonna head more towards the north and the middle section of the island. Then you've got Nabal, which you're gonna see in a minute, and also there is a place called Norddorf. Sure, there are additional places, but those are the main ones. Again, here you can see those wooden paths, and like I said, they spread across the island 4 miles. And also just outside the Vitund you've got this nice cool looking lake where you can again take a seat. There's plenty of benches and just beautiful, magnificent nature all around you. Just take a look. And by the way, this lake is not the place where you take a swim. If you want to do that, you go to the open sea, either on the west or the east side of the beach, and later in the video you'll see there's a few differences between the coastline on the west and the east side of the island. One of the most iconic landmarks of the AMRUM island is the AMRUM Lighthouse, which is located approximately 2 kilometers outside the village of Vitund, so it's still in the southern part of the island, and also this is just nearby the dune camping. One of the most iconic ways of transport around the AMRUM island is by bicycle or by push bike. So let's take a quick ride and let's get a little bit closer to the lighthouse. Now the lighthouse itself was constructed in 1875 and it's a granite tower. It has got 41 meters in height, and also it has got this specific marking, which is red tower with 2 horizontal white bands. Next place we're going to visit is the center point of the island, more or less, which is the village of Nabal. There's no hospitals on the island, so this helipad, which you can see here, is the place where the medical helicopter lands in an event of a severe accident or, you know, someone needing immediate medical attention. The village of Nabal has this iconic landmark for the island of AMRUM, which is this old windmill, and there is actually a museum inside of it. You can also have a venue there, so sometimes people take a wedding inside of it, and you can walk from this building on the right underneath and get into the windmill itself. It's right by the main road, so you cannot just miss it. By the way, the main road which takes you from Vitund and all the way to the Norddorf, so from south to the north, is called Island Road or Island Street. Let's hop, skip and jump on our bikes and let's keep moving, let's keep riding, keep going towards the north side of the island, and we're going to visit another very cool place called Vealkommer, and this is wildlife refuge. So right at the entrance we've got this old school house which for sure was occupied by someone who was looking after this park area. And again, we can follow all these wooden paths and just walk around this cool looking lake. When it comes to the weather on the island of AMRUM, it does fluctuate like on a typical European island. One thing is that it's windy. This wildlife refuge area is also a home for these beautiful antlers. That section where they live is kind of secluded, is fenced up, so there's separations between them and the visitors. But as you can see here, you can give them something nice to eat, like the hay which is stored for them just outside the gate, and also you can bring them some juicy conkers, and they really love those ones. We are still in the same place, we just passing by the area for the antlers, and we are getting to the wooden paths again. As we follow them, we're gonna get to this very cool and iconic place on the island, which is called the Lighthouse of Norddorf. But before I explain, let's take a look at some of the species of animals that live on the island of AMRUM. Here you can see this giant grasshopper, of course. Here we've got some spiders, and no, they're not as big as they look on the video, but yeah, they're pretty big. Next thing, we've got this cool looking snail, and they all over the place. And yes, I know you can get this type of creatures not only on the island, but yeah, they're very cool, you have to agree. Next thing, we've got this beautiful looking butterfly. As you follow the wooden paths around the Vealkommer lake, you come across this stand which explains you all the plants that live in this area. Now this is something that you're going to see a lot on the AMRUM island, and those are pheasants. As you can see here, there's a little one. Then also you can see that they're very friendly. This one, for example, used to come every single day to grab some oats and some nuts from us. And also I'm trying to take a selfie with the pheasant, and I was also trying to invite him inside, but it wasn't so keen. Let's get back to our exploration. As we head forward towards the mini lighthouse in Norddorf, we came across this cool looking structure, and this is the north of the Vealkommer. and this is archaeological excavation area. They were found settlement traces from the Iron Age and the Neolithic megalithic tombs. On the historical basis, an Iron Age house was built in 2014 on a scale of 1:1 true to the original. Reconstructed Iron Age house is a residential stable house as it was built since the Bronze Age. Now coming back to the lighthouse of Norddorf itself, it is called Crossmark Fire. Crossmark Fire, by the way, means that the captain has to change course at the point where the colored lights crossed. So in essence is the navigational instrument for shipping, play of colors red, white, green, and also serves to control the port of Hernum on Sylt. So Sylt is a nearby island. It's the most popular island in Germany, and in one of the previous episodes of this vlog you see me going there to see and enjoy the GKA kitesurf water. So when you go on a ferry from Vitun on AMRUM, you get to Hernumhafen on Sylt, which is the port. So again, this mini lighthouse serves to control the port of Hernum on Sylt. After visiting the lighthouse, we're gonna take a walk back towards the Vogelkoje Meram. This is where I left my bike. That involves a little bit of walking again, but it's such a nice place and surroundings to be in. So the walking itself is just pleasant experience. Here's my bike just outside the gates, and we're gonna jump on the bike and we keep riding. After all that, we're gonna head towards our last location, which is just outside the village of Norddorf, and it's very close to the previous location, and it is called Norddorf Platform. First things first, let's find this parking area for our bike. We're gonna lock it, and again we're gonna end up by the wooden paths, wooden walks. This is absolutely magnificent and almost like overwhelming. And if you look there, right there in the background, you can see the kites, and that's the Norddorf beach. Once you embrace all the beauty around you while you're standing on the platform, just keep moving forward, keep following the wooden paths, and eventually you are going to get to the end of them. So they're going to take you all the way to the beach, and now you see me looking over the Norddorf beach, and you can see also the size of the coastline and the distance between the actual dunes and the water itself. And as you can see for yourself, this is an absolute masterpiece of creation. Didn't I tell you before that you can see pheasant all around the island? There's another one. On the way back to the south part of the island, so towards the Vitund from Norddorf, we're gonna pass the other side of the island, so the east coast. And this side of the coast, as you can see, more resembles of a lakey type of surroundings. This time the water is low. You can see that during the low tide, all the grounds of the sea are exposed. The water moves back quite a lot. And on this shot, like I said to you earlier, you can see that we've got more of like a lakey vibe. The sea normally is much calmer on this side of the island. Obviously that depends what direction the wind is coming from. You can especially see that on this shot. You've got much more plants growing closer to the water. Just to let you know, this little funky looking bridge, very cool area to just spend time on your own or with someone who you like, is just outside Nabal. To finish this video, I just want you to see additional stuff that you can do on the island of AMRUM. Me, I like to spend time actively, so I go to play football, and there's plenty of football grounds all around the island. This specific one is just outside Vitun. There's also a standard football pitch just outside Nabal, nearby the windmill which I showed you earlier. Another thing to do is to go and visit the Reggae Festival, which is organized in the month of August every year by the owners of the Junen Camping. So this year we had the visitors from France. This band was performing for over 2 hours and everybody was just enjoying the vibes and the beautiful music that they were playing. Also, the Junen Camping itself organizes events like music events, or like in this example, the cinema night. One of the most preferable and ideal things to do on AMRUM Island is to just explore the areas, sunbathe, and just be cool. This was the island of AMRUM in northwest Germany through my eyes. I hope you enjoyed, and I recommend for you to visit.